are the Group 3, and today we are going to walk you through the process of writing our first lesson plan. This is an exciting journey, and we are thrilled to share it with you. A lesson plan is a teacher's compendium of what students need to learn and how it will be done effectively during the class time. It also involves designing and incorporating appropriate learning activities and strategies to acquire knowledge.
The 7E's lesson plan model is a great approach to ensure effective and interactive learning. Here's a brief description of each part. Number 1, elicit. This is where you engage students and stimulate their interest in the topic. Number 2, engage. In this stage, you present a situation that grabs the students' attention. Number 3, explore. Here, students get hands-on experience with the concept of the lesson. Number 4, explain. You provide a clear, concise, and explanation of the topic. Elaborate. In this stage, students apply what they have learned to a new situation. Number 6 is evaluate. Here you can assess students' understanding of the concept. Number 7 is extend. This is where you encourage students to take the learning beyond the classroom.
From a model, which part do you think is easy and difficult to construct? When constructing a model like 7E lesson plan, the difficulty can vary depending on the specific lesson and the teacher's familiarity with the model. Easy part, the engage stage, might be considered easier because it involves introducing the topic in an interesting way, which can be fun and creative. Difficult part, the elaborative and extend stage, might be more challenging because they require designing activities that apply the learning concept in new contexts and extend learning beyond the classroom.
The teaching method used in the 7A lesson plan is largely constructivist. This approach emphasizes active learning, where students construct their own understanding through exploration and application. The congruence of this lesson plan from the intended learning outcome of the supporting activities and assessment is crucial. In the 7A's model, each stage is designed to build on the previous ones and align with the learning objectives.
Further reflection, what challenges did you encounter in writing your lesson plan? How did you address these challenges? Throughout my years of studying, I can say that creating lesson plans is difficult but rewarding at the same time, particularly as you get closer to the completion. As soon as I discovered my topic and realized it required a practical demonstration, I felt nervous. I therefore have trouble coming up with possible objectives and methods to accomplish such objectives. Since physics is my topic and 7th grade children are my target audience, the key concern is how I will design engaging, interactive, and meaningful activities. Additionally, I find it difficult to keep up with the energy of the 7th grade students. To address this problem, I put myself in the target audience's shoes and think until I come up with appropriate strategies that are in line with the objectives. Fortunately, I completed the lesson plan ahead of the schedule and still have time to improve it.
Writing the lesson plan was challenging because the format I did was activity-based, and the required lesson plan should be detailed lesson plan or the DLP. So the night before my mock demonstration teaching, instead of sleeping, I was recreating my lesson plan and preparing my instructional materials. Because of my negligence, I wasn't really fully prepared when I needed to be. But nevertheless, with the guidance of Mr. Rico Reyes, I learned about the things that should be improved with how I demonstrate and how I made my lesson plan.
The following are the difficulties I ran into when creating my lesson plan and how I intend to overcome them. First one, identifying the learning objectives. It's very crucial to identify learning objectives of a lesson, and it will serve as your guide on how the flow of discussion takes place. I will describe what the learner will know or be able to do after the learning experience rather than what the learner will be exposed to during the instruction. I will be written it in a way that it is easily understood by students and appropriate or related to the program learning outcomes. Next one is the planning the specific learning activities. When planning learning activities that will support in how you will discuss the lesson, you should consider the types of activities that students will need to engage in order to develop the skills and knowledge required to demonstrate effective learning in the course or program. It is important that each learning activity in the lesson must be aligned to the learning objectives, meaningfully engage students in active, constructive, authentic, and collaborative ways, and useful where the student is able to take what they have learned from engaging with the activity and use it in another context or for another purpose. Another thing is the planning to assess students' understanding. It's very hard to think what is the appropriate assessment that will test the students' understanding about the lesson. I will assess students' learning through formative and summative assessment, performance tasks, self and peer assessment, and giving feedback about the tasks or during the class discussion. Next is the planning to sequence the lesson in an engaging and meaningful manner. To effectively deliver the lesson to the student, it is the responsibility for the teacher to be ready to teach in front of the students. Being creative on how she or he discuss the lesson and involve students in the class discussion to make the teaching and learning more active, meaningful, and collaborative.